Good day everyone, we are the Group 1 and we'll discuss about the media and globalization, culture village and cultural imperialism, wherein cultural village is a community that actively preserves and showcases the customs, traditions, and lifestyle of its people. The cultural imperialism is the imposition of one's cultures, values, and practices onto another.
What is a global village? Have you ever thought about how connected we are, even when we are miles apart? The idea of a global village captures this feeling perfectly. It refers to how modern communication and technology bring people from different parts of the world together. This concept was first introduced by media theorist Marshall McLuhan in the 1960s. He pointed out that electronic media has changed our world into a single, interconnected community. From the viewpoint of anthropology, the global village represents a major shift in how we interact and exchange cultures. People are no longer just part of their local communities. Instead, they belong to a larger global network. This network allows for the sharing of ideas, cultures, and values across borders. As a result, we see the emergence of a shared global culture. Technology plays a key role in this global village. Social media and the internet allow real-time communication and interaction. This has led to increased globalization, where cultural practices and economic systems are becoming more integrated. However, this integration also raises concerns about cultural homogenization. Many worry that local identities might fade away as global influences grow stronger. In everyday life, the global village affects how we live, work, and connect with one another. It influences migration patterns, economic systems, and social relationships. For example, international travel and communication have made it easier for people to form global social networks. This has resulted in more diverse communities, where different cultures blend together. While there are many benefits to this increased connectivity, challenges also arise. Some people may feel disconnected or lose their personal identity as they become part of a larger, more anonymous global community. This can lead to social and cultural tensions, as individuals try to maintain their local identities in a global context. The concept of the global village highlights how interconnected our modern society is and how technology impacts cultural exchange and identity. It encourages anthropologists to think about how globalization affects local cultures and communities. These changes shape our understanding of identity and belonging in a world that is becoming more interconnected every day.
I will be discussing about cultural village. A cultural village is a place or community designed to preserve, showcase, and promote the traditional culture, lifestyle, arts, and heritage of a specific ethnic group or region. It allows people to experience and understand the way of life of different communities. These are the key aspects of cultural village. The history of the village. This shows the origins, how it was established, and the traditions passed down through generations. Next, tradition and practices. These include customs, dances, music, and rituals that reflect the community's identity. The third one, heritage and architecture. Traditional houses and landmarks symbolize cultural values. The next one, food and cuisine. Local delicacies and signature dishes are introduced, often through cooking demonstrations. Next, traditional clothing, attire made from native materials that hold cultural and ceremonial meanings. The next one, festivals and celebrations. Harvest rituals and gatherings that unite the community. Next one, arts and crafts, weaving, pottery, carving, or beadwork that also help sustain the local economy. Language and oral stories, the local dialects, folk tales, songs, and poetry that preserve identity. The next one, tourism and activities. Visitors may join cultural shows, workshops, and even stay with local families. Lastly, sustainability and preservation. Village maintain tradition while adapting to modern life, ensuring that culture is passed on to future generations.
So far, the preservation, promotion, tourism, and exchange. This means keeping our historical sites, tradition houses, and cultural practices intact for the next generation. For example, old churches, ancestral homes, or even traditional dances and music are carefully maintained so that they will not be forgotten. Preservation ensure that our heritage continues to live on. Promote our heritage by showcasing tradition to both locals and foreigners. This can be done through festival, cultural show, or campaigns that highlight the uniqueness of our culture. Promotion helps people see the value of our identity and makes our tradition more visible to the world. Attract visitors who want to experience authentic tradition, whether it's tasting local food, seeing traditional crafts, or enjoying cultural performances. Tourism not only educate visitors but also provide income for the community, making culture both meaningful and sustainable. Exchange, where locals and visitors share practices, food, and experiences. For example, sharing meals together, learning dances, or teaching crafts. This is exchange foster respect and understanding among people from different backgrounds.
Cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism happens when powerful countries use media to spread their culture worldwide, often influencing or overshadowing local traditions. One culture overshadowing another. This means that a powerful country's culture become more dominant, while local traditions, practice, and values slowly disappear or become less important. Worldwide connection and exchange. This happens through trade, travel, and global interaction. Cultures mix and spread across countries. This creates opportunities for people to learn about each other, but it can also make dominant culture more visible, while smaller or local cultures are left behind. Culture. When cultural imperialism happens, dominant countries' culture export their culture through education, entertainment, fashion, and even politics. Other societies often adopt this practice, sometimes without even realizing it. Media. Media is one of the strongest tools of cultural imperialism. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok spread global trends instantly. Hollywood movies, K-pop music, and online content influence how people dress, speak, and even think.
For cultural imperialism historical backgrounds, ancient empires, Greeks and Romans spread their languages, religions, and ways of life across conquered lands. For religion and medieval times, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism spread through conquest, trade, and missions shaping local cultures. For colonial era, from 1500s to 1900s, European powers imposed languages, education, and customs on colonies in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. For example, Britain promoted English and Western education in India. For 20th century, even after colonies gained independence, Western culture stayed strong. The US spread its culture worldwide through Hollywood, music brands, and media. During the Cold War, both the US and USSR used culture as a tool of influence. And today, global media, fast food, fashion, and apps spread dominant cultures faster than ever. Some diseases see this as cultural exchange, others as the loss of local traditions. For positive impacts, easier global communication, shared languages, and media allows people to connect across countries. of technology and knowledge. Global influence helps spread innovations and new ideas. Access to cultural products and trends. People worldwide can enjoy music, films, fashion, and information from different countries. And for negative impacts, loss of local traditions, values, and languages. Native practices and heritage often fade when replaced by dominant global cultures. Cultural homogenization. Unique cultures become more similar, reducing global diversity. Dependence on foreign products. Local industries may weaken as people prefer imported cultural goods. Creation of stereotypes and bias. Media sometimes spread inaccurate or biased images of certain groups.
Now, let's discuss about media globalization. Media globalization refers to the growing interconnectedness of media across the world. Driven by digital technology and global communication networks, this process has reshaped how information is shared, how cultures interact, and how identities are formed. While media globalization allows for greater cultural exchange and access to diverse content, it also raises important challenges, and this includes media imperialism, where dominant Western media overshadows local voices, cultural homogenization, and the digital divide that limits access in less connected regions. Technological advances like social media and streaming platforms have expanded global participation in media, but concerns around content regulation, misinformation, and cultural erosion remain. In essence, media globalization offers both opportunities and risks. Navigating this landscape requires ongoing attention to diversity, inclusivity, and the ethical implications of a connected media world. Globalization is not only about the movement of goods and services, but also about the spread of cultures and ideas across the world. For example, a Hollywood film produced in the United States can be viewed by audiences around the globe. This shows how culture spreads. Another example is the growing acceptance of LGBT rights, which has become more widespread through global communication. Thanks to television, movies, magazines, books, and especially social media, advocates and organizations can now reach larger audiences more easily. In short, globalization relies heavily on media as its main channel for spreading global culture and ideas. The function of media. According to Jack Lull, media is simply a channel of communication. But Marshall McLuhan gave us something deeper to think about when he said, the medium is the message. What he meant is that media itself reshapes societies, not just the message it carries. For instance, television does not just deliver content, it also influences family interactions and social behavior. Another example is the smartphone, which allows us to communicate instantly with many people at once.
For our globalization of culture through media. Global media like TV, the internet, and pop culture has spread Western influences worldwide, shaping global lifestyle and cultural norms. While this raises concerns about cultural loss, it also leads to new hybrid cultures that blend global and local traditions. And for our media imperialism and global culture, globalization and media dominance, especially by Western powers, are reshaping local cultures, values, and identities. As global media spreads, it challenges cultural diversity, fuels inequality, and raises concerns about local voices in a rapidly homogenized world. But media has positive and negative effects. On the positive side, it expands communication and connects people across the globe. But on the negative side, it can also limit or amputate human senses. One example is writing. Before people wrote on papyrus, they relied on strong memory to pass down stories. But with the invention of writing, memory became less important because people could record information instead. In conclusion, media is the main driving force of globalization. It spreads cultures and ideas, reshapes societies, and influences how we communicate and behave. While it has many benefits, we should also be aware of its limitations.
So for the author of this presentation, inclusion while media globalization creates a more connected, informed world, it also raises critical concern about cultural dominance and loss of identity. As we navigate this complex media landscape, it is essential to celebrate cultural diversity and promote balanced media representation. Only then can we ensure that globalization becomes bridge, not barrier, between cultures. So that's all for the presentation. Thank you for listening. To make it easier for you to explore the references and resources used in creating this website, we had provided a QR code below. By simply scanning the code with your mobile device, you will be directed to the page that contains all the links and sources related to the information, image, and materials presented here. This will be help you verify the content, learn more about the cultural village, and discover additional readings beyond what is summarized on the site.